Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this one we are going to keep working on AZ500 series labs and from the GitHub, and these labs are designed by Microsoft Learning. And if you go there are actually multiple different AZ500 labs. Some of these series are repositories are really old, so make sure you are using the right repository. And if you go to this one, you will see this repository is maintained pretty good. Most of the files, they were updated very recently, like as recent as like 6 days ago. Some of the files were updated just to make sure that we are still comparable with the latest Azure features. So let's get started. And again, we're going to work on the PIM, which is a very important feature when you move to the cloud. That is the privileged identity management. So in this particular lab, we have kind of 4 different aspects. We're going to create a permanent assignment of the add user to. There is one user we have. We're going to add that user to the security administrator role, and then we're going to configure the add user to AD user to be eligible for the billing administrator and global reader role. So that we're going to do using the PIM feature of Azure Active Directory. And next we're going to configure the global reader role activation to require approval of the add user 3 Azure AD user. And finally we're going to configure an access review of the global reader role and review auditing capabilities. So when you move to the cloud, your identity is very important, and especially the privileged identities are critical to keep your resources secure. So when you move to the cloud, Microsoft often says that your identity is the new security boundary. So, and your PIM just allows you to do the access review, do the approval, do the whole title entitlement. All of that processes, it helps you to design for privileged users. So again, this lab actually has a dependency on lab 4, so make sure that you have already done with the lab 4, that is we have completed MFA conditional access and Azure Active Directory identity protection. Okay, and we also need the AD tenant, which we have already created, Adatum lab 005 lab 500-04, and we already have these users in my account. So if we go back, session expired, so let's just go back to portal.azure.com and let's see where does it let me log in. So I'm in the default directory, so if you click on switch directory, I can go to the Adatum lab 500-04. You see that lab is available, and in here I can search for Active Directory. If I go in here and click on users, I should have those 3 users: add user 1, add user 2 and add user 3, all of them available. So I'm ready to start this particular lab. If you are not in here, please go back to lab 4. Okay, so this is the previous lab, and please finish it and come back to this lab. So we know what to do, 4 different parts. So again, kind of objectives: configure the PIM, activate PIM roles, activate review. So this kind of follows the process that's defined within the PIM module that we're gonna see. So the first exercise: configure PIM users and roles. We are gonna make a user eligible for a role, configure a role to require approval to activate and add an eligible member, and give a user permanent assignment to a role. So let's go back to the portal and let's get started. Okay, so let's continue with this lab. So to make a user eligible for the role, what you have to do, you gotta go to the portal and then search for resources, services and roles, and then type the Azure AD privilege identity management. So come over here, so you just go back and search resources, services, and role. So we're going to search for that, but note that we have already enabled the privileged identity management. Okay, so make sure that you complete lab 4 and enable this feature. So once you're here, so this is completely separate from your Azure Active Directory. Like, this comes with its own blade and own task and manage and activities. Okay, so in here what we will do, we are gonna, under the manage section, we're gonna click on Azure AD roles, and then we're gonna do quick start and click on roles. So manage Azure AD roles, then over here we have, within the quick start, we gotta see which one we want to do. So roles, we are here, click on Azure AD roles, quick start blade, in the manage, click on roles. So again, under manage, we're gonna go and click on hit the roles, and see there is no roles assigned at the moment. So what we can do, we can choose pretty much all of these roles. So if you over here, active is 0, it's everything, and so there's probably one, I see directory reader, we have some role active, but the most of the roles you see 0 and 0. Excuse me. So let's do one assignment, and let's create a billing administrator, and we're gonna make sure the add user 2 we're gonna assign to the billing administrator role. So add assignments, you can click on that one, search role, you can type BILL, that gets you the billing administrator, select that one. So no member selected, and we're gonna add member, add user 2. So, and then that's about it. You hit next, and over it's asking whether you want to make this eligible or active, and assignment starts when and ends when. So all of that question. Maximum allowed eligible duration is 3 months, so you cannot make a role eligible for more than 3 months. Okay, that's the setting that we have by default. So come over here, let's see what they're asking in the lab to do. So we have done that, eligible, and then click assign. So that's all that they're asking to do. They're not changing us to do anything. Back to this, under the assignment blade, note the tab for eligible assignments, active assignments, and expired assignments. Verify on the eligible assignments that this user is shown as billing administrator. So what is going to happen once you assign this person is eligible for that role. That doesn't mean that he has active permissions associated with the role. It means that is eligible. He has to use the same privileged identity management, go to his own account, and then request that role to be active, and somebody has to approve before he can use it. Okay, so let's assign this one. It is assigning this role to member. So now if I go to the assignments blade, I should see that guy. It says principal, type, scope, membership, start, and what is this? Is a billing administrator. Excuse me. And you see there are 3 different things. Eligible assignments. So this person is eligible, but it's not, the role is not active. So if I go to active, we shouldn't see anything. Okay, and if we go to expired, there shouldn't be anything either. But in 3 months, this person, if we don't do anything, his access will be expired, and it will move it down here, right? So the next thing that we want to do, so we are done with this task 1. The next one, configure a role to require approval to activate and add an eligible member. So in this one, we are going to go back to the privileged identity management, and then we're going to go to the roles again, and let's go to the global reader role entry. So go back to the roles and just give it a second. So we'll just search for global reader. So let's click on that one. So here right now I have no one here. So what we want to do, global reader assignments blade, click setting icons of the blade and review configuration settings. So for this particular role, click on the setting, and here is the role setting, your activation maximum duration. So once this role is activated, it can be active for 8 hours maximum. The required justification of activation, yes, you have to say why do you need this role when you look asking for the approval. Required ticket information on approval, it says no. Required approval to activate, it says no. So this one we are probably going to change and make sure that when people are requesting for this role, it has to go through an approval process. Right now approvers is none, so you can review the rest of them. So let's go back to the lab. We're gonna click edit and require approval to activate. We're gonna make sure that it's yes. So edit, and we'll make sure that this role must be approved by someone. So now we do not have any approver selected, so let's figure out who is the approver. Select a member blade, select add user 3. So add user 3 is going to be the approver for this role. Select, okay, come back over here. Next we go to the assignment and just leave all the default values and click on notification, and on the notification blade on the edit role setting, global reader blade, review the setting and click update. So we are not really trying to do anything. So edit role setting is just setting what kind of notification you're gonna get. Role activation alert, notification to activate user, request to approved activation, role assignment, notification to assign user, request to approve a role assignment. So all these notifications, they are there by default, so we are not going to change anything. Sorry, so then I'm just going to click on update, and that should update this particular global reader role, which will now require approval before it can be activated. Alright, so once this is done on the global reader assignment, we can add an assignment now. And let's see, who do we want to assign? Add user to that guy. We are going to make this a global admin. So select role again, global reader or global admin. Global reader. Global reader, and no member selected. Here add user 2, select and make sure that user 2 is what you want, and hit next. And again I'm gonna do that, make this person eligible, not active. Okay, and then hit assign. So that person, add user 2, should now have eligibility to become a global reader as well. So now if I go back to the assignments tab, I should see two different type of assignments. One is the billing administrator. That role does not require any approval, but this role, global reader, this guy is eligible for both assignments, but when he tries to activate this role, it has to go through an approval process, and add user 3, that guy has to approve his request before he can start using this role. Okay, so now we want to learn how to give a user a permanent assignment. So let's get started with this one. Alright, in this section we're going to go again back to the privileged identity management, go back to the roles, and then we're gonna do assignments, and this time we're gonna use the security administrator and make that guy as a security administrator. So let's go back, roles, then add assignments, select role, then search for the security administrator, select that one, select your member, and you're gonna get it add user 2. So this guy, hit next, and this time we have use a permanent assignment to a role. It looks like this is permanently assignment already. So maximum duration allowed eligible duration is permanent. So for this particular role, you can have the permanently eligible role available to this particular type of role. So this time I can hit assign. So this is a role, the global reader, not security administrator, is the role that we have assigned as the permanent role. So what we go back to the assignment again, and in this one, if you see the first role that we added, billing administrator, we only said okay, only add for these 3 months. We didn't make it permanent. This assignment, however, we said that assignment type, date and time, this one is also permanent, and you can click on update if you like, and you can remove the permanently eligible from here and save. So that role is not permanently available, and you're only giving it that role for 3 months or so. So maybe you have a contractor or somebody coming in, you know that it's only going to be for a few months. So for those type of roles, you don't want to use permanent assignment. You would be giving the start time and end date of your contract. For this particular role, we know that this guy will continue to be the security administrator, and we made that role as permanent. So after 3 months, we will have this role available to us as well. So come back over here, let's see, so we are done. So add user 2 is now permanently eligible for the security administrator role. Now the next thing that we want to test is how to activate these PIM roles, and with and without permissions. That's what you need to figure out. So activate the role that requires approval, and activate the role that does not require approval is what we're gonna see. So again, if you go back over here, we know that for this role we don't need any approval, right? But for the global reader role, we said that it has to be approved by another user, and that user is add user 3. So let's experience that that process. So over here, what we'll do, open an in private browser window and then log in as the add user 2. So let's see, come back over in private window, go to the portal, and this time we're gonna log in as add user 2. Let's see what happens here. Next, and sign in, and then say no. So we have, first of all, we just signed in using as add user 2 to this particular adatum lab 500-04 domain, and over here we're gonna look for the PIM, which is Azure AD Privileged Identity Management. So if we come over here, now it's saying my role, my request, approve request, and review access. So if I click on my role, it's telling me I have a global reader and billing administrator. Those two roles are temporary, so it will end 6:15, and this one is going to end on 9:13. But I have option to activate these roles. Okay, so let's just go back to GitHub and see what is the next step they're asking us to do. So we are here, my roles, the row displaying billing administrator entry, click on active. So billing administrator, I don't think I need any approval, so sorry, not here, so I have to go back to the other window. So here, billing administrator, I am that user too. I'm gonna make this role active. So that one, if I click on this one, so it's gonna ask additional verification required, custom activation start time. So click on this. What is the additional verification? Okay, it's saying that I have multi-factor authentication. So let's just go through this one and open your Microsoft authentication account. So let's just open that one, and it says approve the request. So let's come back over here. So approve my sign in. Yeah, do that. So now I approve my multi-factor authentication before I activate that role. Now that validation is now successful. So what we want to do, and we want to custom deactivate start time if we like. So let's see what, go back to the lab and follow what exact step they are asking in this particular lab. So we are there, we activated. Additional verification required, click to continue, we did that, and we verified our identity. Now we're going to activate, and for the reason box, type a text providing justification. So I say whatever you want you can write. Just need access to do something, you can elaborate, I'm not typing it here. And then let's see if we want to use this or not as per the lab. So no, it's not saying to do anything else, so we'll just come back over here. Sorry, go to this window, and see that by default once you activate this role, it stays activated for 8 hours. Then you have to come back and redo this. So now click on activate. So there are 3 stages: processing your request, then validating that your activation is successful, and third, once this validation is done, it will tell us that whether the activation is completed successfully or not. So just give it a second. Let's go back to the lab and review what we do next. So there are a couple of notes item in here. When you activate a role in PIM, it can take up to 10 minutes for the activation to take effect, so be patient. And the next thing, the role was not require approval, so you will be able to sign out and log back in to begin using the activated role. So come back over there, and if I go to now active assignments, there we go. So this role is now activated. So, and we have I have an action that that says deactivate to deactivate this role. So this is the process of getting the activation for a role. So what happens if you click the billing administrator role again? Okay, it's interesting that it's even letting you do that. It should say that is the role is already activated. So if I click on here, let's see what happens. Okay, there is, okay, so you see, so once the role is already active, if you try to reactivate that, it should fail, and it should tell you the role assignments already exist. So you already have the this role activated, so you cannot activate again during this particular period of time unless you deactivate this role first. Okay, So you have seen one process where you don't need any approval. So we can sign out and sign back in. Let's try that one out. So sign out. And we're gonna sign back in. Oh, actually I wanted to sign back out of the other window. So over here I want to sign out. So this user, we want to sign out, and again we're gonna sign back in. Okay, so now I'm back in there. So let's see what's the next step in our lab. So navigate back to PIM task, click on my roles. So again, PIM under task, my roles. Oh, I'm sorry, so I'm always coming back to this. I have to go back over here, then go to the Azure Active Directory and my roles. And again, you shouldn't see anything too much different. These three roles are, I'm eligible for these three roles, and my billing administrator is the active role. So let's go back to the Git. So my roles, on my roles, active assignments, notice billing administrator is activated. We already looked at that one. Now again, I have a couple of notes items here. Once the role is activated, it automatically deactivates when its time limit under end time is reached. So that's great. And if you complete your administrator task early, you can deactivate your role manually. So if you want, we can click on deactivate. So it's activated for 8 hours, but if you're done in 1 hour, so you can always click on the deactivate to deactivate the role. So let's just do that. Come back over here, not here, over here, and click on the deactivate icon and click deactivate. That should deactivate the role again. So this time if you refresh, there's nothing in there, so it's gone again. If you want, now your activate button is here. If I want to do some more work, I can. All right, so let's go back to our lab environment and see what is going on next. In here, the second task is to activate a role that require approval. So we know that the global reader role that needs approval from somebody else. Okay, so let's experience that feature. So over here, if I click on activate to global reader, and here's the validation request, and again I'm gonna say need access, and hit on activate, and this one it says your request is pending for approval. So I would not get an active assignments over here until this request is granted, right? So come back over here, click the notification icon, and look. So we already looked at that one. On the my roles, locate the security administrator, click on activate, click the warning additional verification required, click continue. Hold on. Okay, so this is the third one, the security administrator role. Okay, so let's come back over here, go to the eligible assignments, back not here, go to eligible assignments. So global reader, we tried, and let's try the security administrator, and additional verification required. Do that, go through your MFA, Okay, so once you're here, you get in there and go security administrator. We're gonna activate that role as well, so click yes. Okay, need it. Hit activate. So that one, for the security administrator, we don't need any approval, and it is just going through different stages. Let's just watch what happens. So validation is successful, activation is completed successfully. So that's about it. So this role is should now be active. So let's go back over here. Click the warning additional verification. So we have already done that. So now we're going to go back to the my roles and look at the active assignments. So not here again, go back, active assignments. So in here it's saying the security administrator role is now active, but note that global reader role is still not activated because nobody approved. So you will now approve the global reader role. So what we need to do over here, since it's not doing anything, I have to sign out of the Azure portal as user 3, and I gotta log in as add user 3 to approve that role to add user 2. So what we'll do, we'll come back to that in private window. We are going to sign out. We're gonna go get the add user 3 username, user another account, paste, hit next, and then get the password for this particular user and put it in. Let's see if that works. I think I'm signing for the first time, so paste, just use add user 2's password in here and update the password and just log in. So once you are logged in, I'm logged in as add user 3, so I'm the approver. So search for the PIM. So once you go here, you can go to my role, but you shouldn't see anything too much because this person doesn't have any role, so there is no eligible active or assignment. But if you go back to PIM and approve request, you should see one approve right there. So because you are approver for this particular rule for add user 2, so this request, when add user 2 activated this role, it came to me, or me means add user 3. So I'm now gonna click on this one and I can approve, and I'm just gonna give justification, you just write. So all these things that are auditable, who is doing what for all that privileged actions. So now it says this request, user 2 is approved, and you don't have anything over here at the moment, right? So let's just go back to the GitHub and see what is going on. So over here, so now we're going to sign out as user 3, log back as user 2 again, just to verify now my role is now active. So let's just do that. Oh, I'm just doing the same mistake. I'm gonna go to the in private window. From here I gotta log out as add user 3, and we are going to log back in as add user 2. And once I'm logged in, I'm gonna go back to PIM, and here under my roles, and I'm gonna go to the active assignments, and this time you see both of the roles, they are now showing up. So it says the global reader, which was not showing because it needed the approval, is now available to me as well. Okay, so let's go back to our GitHub, stay there. So we are done. So now we can sign out and close that window if we like. Let's go over here, and I'm just gonna close the window. So the next thing that we are going to do is create access review, and we're gonna review the auditing feature. So here, this is access review is very important. You should very closely track the who is using, who is assigned the privilege type roles, and why they're using it. So here we're gonna go back to the PIM, Azure AD Privilege Identity Management. We're gonna go to Azure AD roles, and then from manage we're gonna go to the access review. So this is me, AZ Labs 9000, that's fine. So go to the privilege access management, and review access is where we want to go. Okay, access review, and it says review access. So here we can create a new, okay, so it's not showing a new over here, so go back over here, go to manage roles, and then manage access review. So this is the one where you have to go first. Okay, access review. So here we're going to create a new access review, and we're going to configure the way they're saying. So review name global reader. So name is this global reader review, and start date is today's date. I'm going to just do it for one time. It's good, but it's recommended that you do it like periodically. So instead of one time, you should choose like weekly or monthly or quarterly, annually. But usually for testing, you can do it one time. So again, come back over here. End date, end of the current month. So end date, end of the current month is, say, this end of the current month. And then review role membership is the global reader. So here just search for which one you want, global reader, and done. And then reviewer selected users, reviewer, so that's fine. And then select users, and then I'm gonna find my user ID, and then add it here. And then on the create an access review blade, we're gonna hit start. So we're not doing anything else in this too. Upon completion setting, what you want to do, auto apply results to response. So we'll learn about this feature. So there is some automation that you can do after you have determined and completed your review. So for now, I'm just going to click on start. Okay, so it will take about a minute for the review to deploy and appear on this particular AD access review blade. You might have to refresh the web page. The review status will be active. So we're gonna go back to the access review tab, and on the global admin review header, click on the global admin entry. So access review tab, we have created one, so there is nothing in here. There is no refresh button in here either. So let's just go back over here, come back to access review again. It's trying to think something, and right there, so it says the status is initializing. So you can click on it and see what is going on. So yeah, so there's one decision, so it's now eligible and active, this particular role assignment. Click on the global reader entry. The review status should be active. Review status right now is saying active. That is good. And choose the global reader entry. So global, this is the entry that we have already chosen. So global reader entry. And what we wanna do next. On the global reader review blade, examine the overview page and note that progress chart shows a single user is in the not reviewed category. So over here you have not reviewed, approved and denied. So one user, since we have never done any review, so it's showing up under the not reviewed category. There is one user. Okay, so that's so far so good. On the global reader review manage section, click results. So over here click on results, and there is one user that we have not reviewed it yet. So this thing, so we have that, click that user to view the details. So we can click on that user to view the details, or just click on the view button. So this it will show you all the activity that the user has done. And then come back over here, navigate back to the access review blade, and then on that blade in the task section click on review access. So go back to here, and on this blade you can click on review access. So access review for Azure directory role, global reader review, global reader, and remaining item is 1. Now we're gonna click on the global reader review entry again, and then we're gonna click on this view. Okay, and we can either click approve to maintain the current role, but if you feel like no, this user should not have this access anymore, you can deny it. So what happened? Let's go back over here. So what you can do, you can select this, and you can, if you want to approve this, you just write say okay, then you can either approve or deny. Let's see what they are asking us to do here. And it just didn't say to do anything, it just said to go back to the blade and click on Azure AD roles. So let's just do that. Go back home again, go back here, and Azure AD roles. Alright, let's continue with this. So what we're gonna do here, from the global reader review, as we said, if you click on it, you can deny this, or you can put something, okay, approve, and then you can approve that person. So you, that way you are completing your access review. So now you this person is now approved. So you go back over here to your privilege identity management, and over here let's come back to access review. Where is my access review? This access review, and you see the access review status is active because this is start date is 15 and the end date is 30th, so it's gonna remain active. And let's see if, so over here, since I have approved that person just recently, so it's saying now, okay, there is no pending because I've already reviewed and I have approved. And over here the color has changed from light blue to this green one. If I have denied somebody, so it will then turn to orange, and that person will no longer be able to assign this particular role to himself. So let's see, if I want to stop this review, I can click stop, and let's come back over here. Let's see if there's anything else that we need to do about the privilege identity management. Okay, let's come back over here. So we did all of that. So the last thing that we are doing is review the PIM alert, summary information, and detailed audit information. Review PAM alerts. Let's see, is there my alert? Where is my alert, and where do I go to that alert? So you're gonna go to Azure AD roles, and manage and alerts. So over here again, as you is AD roles and then alerts. Okay, so that's where you want to go. And here I see there's only one alert: roles don't require multi-factor authentication for activation. So that's one alert. So let's see how to treat that alert. So alert setting, review the pre-configured alerts and risk level. Click on any of them for more detailed information. So you can really, they are saying just review this, understand what it is, and see if you want to fix it. So why you're getting this, how do I fix it, and can I prevent this? So you can click on that one. Okay, and then let's see, its status is like, in a weird state, like it's under review. And can I fix it? Are you sure you want to resolve the selected alert? So if you really resolve it without fixing, then that's not good. So I'm just gonna say no from here. Let's go back. The last thing we want to do, so if you really want, you can go ahead and turn on MFA for the directory reader group. And over here, what else do we need to do? We need to go to the role activation, PIM activities, alerts and role assignments. So come back over here. Role assignments, alert, we have reviewed all of that. Discovery and insight, this is under preview. We are not going to cover this one in this lab. Settings, we didn't really look at. I don't think we need to do anything. Only setting we have changed so far is the global reader one. And let's see, the last one, we're gonna go to the activity section and resource audit. Let's see, where is my activity section, and resource audit is the last one that we want to take a look at. And here you have audit for the different actions that we have done. Here is add user, we add member to role completed. This guy has approved one of the requests, right? So that we did a little bit ago, PIM activation, PIM applications, all of that stuff, all the audits, they're going to show up in here. So get back now there. Notice that you can retrieve detailed information including time, request or action, resource, scope and subject. So yeah, so over here you can look at time, when that action happened, who requested for something, what action was performed, what is the resource name. In this case is the Active Directory where we are taking these operations. And you have filtering options if you want to go for myself. So this is gonna be all the records that I have. I can go to member and I can do like audit type, I can do assigned, what happened. So there's nothing here. Eligible, nothing here. Yeah, so there are 4 that are permanently eligible. So you can do some filtering here and play with it. Alright, so in this lab as well we have covered a whole bunch of stuff. We started with really going to my role, looking at my role, and I really don't have any role assigned to me at the moment. So then what we did, we went to Azure AD roles to manage the different type of roles, and from here we assigned some roles. Okay, and I didn't have any approval, so we assigned some roles, and then we looked at the experience of different user will have based on the role activation, whether it's eligible, and you need to have a approval from somebody else or not. And at the end, when we have done some logging in and activating our roles, we went back to manage our roles and we reviewed our assignments. And then what we did, we performed access review. Now if I want, I can remove some of these assignments, and that will remove the permissions, the role assignments that we have done using the PIM module. We looked at some of the alerts, and then we looked at the access review, and we actually configured one access review for the global reader. You can create access review for other type of roles as well, and this time we did only one time access review. You can continuously do it and have a periodic access review if you want. And at the end, we also looked at the resource audit to look at the audit logs. So hopefully this was a good lab for you. This is a very important aspect of Azure security, so make sure that you understand your privilege identity management and prepare well. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this one, please subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up, and have a great day. Thank you.